you ready? Okay. First, I like to say praise the Lord since, video. Okay. Anyway, this is a Foley bell saw, model 14. There's the little sticker over there on the side of the carriage. Can you get a close up of that, honey? That's good.
Yes.
Okay, now, all right. The way this works, there's 3 head blocks, 2 dogs. You can use a third dog. You can move this one up here if you want to cut 3-foot logs. This is 6 foot from this first one there to the last one. The carriage is 10 foot long. And then this is the gauge. Come over here, dear. That's the gauge. Right there, 14 inches. That means it's 14 inches from this head block to the edge of the saw, right where the saw comes right out here. So if that's sitting on 14 and you saw a piece off at least 14 inches, this is how you set it. You pull it, and if you notice, come over here and notice this. As I pull this, like it's 13, like it's on 12, and then you put it out here if you want to, and this is a set. You pull it all the way to that set, and that's about maybe 1.25 inches. And then if you set it 1.25 inches, when you saw a log, the saw takes out 1/4 inch, and that leaves a plank 1 inch, about whatever dimension it is this way. Like I said, the carriage is 10 foot. It comes into 3 10-foot sections. Here's a section from here back, and the section where the saw is mounted on the manual is 10 foot. And at the end up there is 10 more foot sections, so it's 30 feet. Back up this way, dear. If you put a log on and you let it set over a couple foot here, a couple foot there, sitting over this, you can cut a 14-foot long plank, 6 by 6, whatever you want to. Okay, so now this is the guide system that holds the saw. You just set your guide and turn these to get it tight, and you get that real close to the saw when you're ready, and on the back side to keep your saw from wobbling. These pieces here are meant to put wood down. It's like makes you a table. If you saw a log, and a lot of times they're tapered, they got a big butt end on them or something, and you saw a 4 or 5 foot piece off, you have some wood laying across here. That way your piece falls on this instead of falls on the ground. Because see, I'm older, I don't want to get on the ground and pick it up. So that way it stops right here. And for a 65-year-old, it makes it a lot easier to move. Now, this is the handle. If you can see this inside here as I work this handle, do you see it working there, Blanca?
Yes.
When you pull, this gets tight on this belt. There's a cable that goes here. It comes back and hooks to the carriage. And you pull this, and it pulls that carriage forward. At the other end, there's a pulley. The cable goes around. Look at the other end there, Blanca. You see that pulley?
Yeah,
Hey,
this pulley.
come on back here now. But anyway, the cable goes down that pulley. Stay a little closer to me in case they need to see my pretty face or something. But anyway, when you pull this back, it goes forward. You push it here and it tightens up the other side of that belt over there. And that makes it, when you push this way forward, then the carriage goes backwards. I always like it when you pull forward. It goes forward, you push backwards, and it goes backwards. All right. Like I say, this is the guide system. You just adjust this to get the guides to hold the saw. Okay.
What size are your saw?
This is a 46-inch saw. This is a splitter. What that does, when you're sawing a log and you saw in a place, part of it goes over here, and what you sawed, your plank goes on this side. And a splitter keeps it from hanging your saw and throwing it back and knocking your head off.
Oh my goodness.
So this splitter is a safety thing where it don't throw stuff back at you. Some logs have got a lot of stress. As you start cutting through, they pull together. You got to be careful because sometimes it'll still try to pull here. If it's got stress, you got to back up, take another little bunch of sawdust or a piece out of it to where it goes on by. Okay. Now this is a manual. The saw is on at the manual. Out there at that end, you got a PTO shaft we got inside, and you got a tractor you set over there, and you hook that PTO up to your tractor, and it turns the saw about 550 RPMs this way, and then that's how the mill's powered and how it goes. Come up this way, my dear. Oh yeah, to set the splitter, you just move the bolts around whichever way you need to do to move it in or out. The mill comes apart here, the sections. If you take these 3 bolts out here and same on the other side, this leg stays with this 10-foot section, and then this 10-foot section here, look right in here, ma'am. This 10-foot section here has got 2 sets of legs. That way it sets up by itself. This is set up by itself. Then when you get it leveled up where you want to put it, you put it together. This bar here with these nuts, if this is not lined up exactly when you get it level and set up, and of course this will be tight against that. When you get it set up, you take this bar, it's got a nut on the inside and outside, and you move it till this is lined up. You can't